All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tuesday night OMEC Racing here with the OMEC boys. I am your substitute teacher, Mike Braun. Be sitting with you for the next little bit. Trying to get everything worked out here, so bear with me here. Give me a few minutes. We're in qualifying right now, so give me a few minutes and finish getting some bells and whistles hooked up, and we will get qualifying wrapped up and get into this hour-and-a-half long race. So give me a couple minutes. I'll be right back. All right, we're closing in the end of qualifying here. Let's see where the boys are lining up right now. You got Dan Griffin out in front in the Pro Division, 354 flat in his Mustang. You got Nate Sides, my good friend, in the second spot in his Corvette. Nico Veloso in the third spot, also in a Corvette. Let's see what we got going on down here. Nick Terrell in the fifth spot. Rolling the Beamer. In the amateur division, we got Tom Lessons in the pits right now with a 356.7. Tim Schaefer in the second spot in the AM division. Got about 4 minutes left on these guys. Hour-and-a-half long race tonight. Should be some good racing action for these guys. I am sitting in for my good friend Fenn. Had some work duties tonight, so I wanted to jump in and help him out. He's helped me out a few times, so willing to pay him back. Again, we're in qualifying right now. Looks like everybody's doing pretty good. Casey Jones is all green right now because he's got no times. Let's see what Casey Jones can do here. Ooh, tough break for Casey there. He might be out of time. Patrick comes by the line with a 401, does not improve. Still sitting 8th in the pro division. See what looks like in the window of Nate's sides. Down into Indianapolis here. Nice bank turn here. Good fun turn to turn in there. This is a pretty tricky one right down in here. Closing in on time here. See if Nate can get by for one final. He's got a purple sector here. See if he's able to improve it all. Close that gap. He's closing right behind Griffin. The last set of chicanes here. Excuse me, 53-3. Take him top of the board. So Nate's side will be your pole sitter. It's because we rode on board with him. That's why. I take all credit for that, Nate. Last couple cars trying to finish around. Patrick Intro, your last one running. Coming through the Porsches. Tricky section with these cars. You run so light on wing. And these things get super free through here. And into the Corvettes, just slow down a gear. And you accelerate the hardest you can out of here. Patrick has one green sector. And a 358.9. Still keep him in that 8th spot. That will conclude our qualifying. Qualifying being done and dusted. So let's clear this out. And once iRacing finally finalizes it here, we will get our grid. Waiting for it to reset. Still waiting on a couple timing things. There we go. That has been reset. Let's see what the grid's going to look like. We are going to have Nate Sides on the pole, 353.3. Did that on that last lap. I take full credit for that. You're welcome, Nate. Dan Griffin will be on the outside front row. Nick Terrell will be inside row number 2. And then Nico Veloso in the 4th spot, outside row 2. Nicholas Menard in the inside row 3. Kevin Hayes in the outside next to Nicholas. Sergey Porka in the 7th spot. Tim Schaefer in 8th. Tom Leeson in 9th. Andre Saba in the 10th spot. And then in the 11th spot, you have Patrick Entrell with Zachary Holden next to him. And the buttons on this are a little different than mine. Sorry, guys. Grid. There we go. And Hayden in the 13th spot. Wesley in 14th. Jared Pettit in 15th. Casey Jones 16th. Grayson Parks 17th. Kenny Duvall in 18th. And Landon Orr in the 19th spot. So it looks like we are getting ready to grid up. And starting our rollout here. Again, this is an hour-and-a-half long race tonight. Should be some good racing action. Some good practice for some of these guys that might be doing the 24-hour race coming up in a couple weeks. I know me and my guys have been practicing this for at least a week now. Again, we got Nate Sides on the pole. Dan Griffin in P2. The weather, we got track temp of 75 degrees. So good temperature for these guys. It's only 9 a.m. So by the time they finish, it should be close to 11. So temps might jump up a little bit to about 85, 90. We'll have to see how that works out. Let's see what else we got here. Looks like we are coming into the last section here. Our iRacing pit car should peel off here at any minute, ignoring the laws of gravity as they pull into pit lane. Here comes your leaders through the last section right here. Looks like we already got a little bumping going on in the back there. And down the front straight they come. 3 wide coming into turn 1 here. Nick Terrell on the inside in turn 1. Ooh, this is going to be touchy. Terrell able to hold on to it. They're going to pinch a little bit. 3 wide into turn 2. Oh, Nate Side spins around. Nick Terrell is going to lead him around. Long race for these guys. Terrell's got to slow down. A couple of these guys got to slow down here. Intervals. Side-by-side battle in that 3rd spot right now. Kevin and Nico going at it. Kevin Hayes in that Aston, able to get the better end of that deal. Coming into the first chicane here. Top 4 starting to pull away just a bit. Oh, we got a wreck back there in the back. Let's see who that was. I think that was Sergey. We'll come back to that here in a minute. Top four starting to pull away just a bit. Top three starting to pull away. Oh, the four. There we go. Kevin Hayes hiding back there, drafting in the back of Dan. Coming on the inside here. Hayes has that inside line, able to get a hard braking and hold that line. Dan Griffin not wanting to give up any space. He's got a little bit of draft from Nico right behind him. Nico with a bird's eye view here of that battle for second right now. Coming into Indianapolis here. Pretty good hard braking zone, but that fun bank turn. In the fifth spot, you got Nicholas Menard, not too far back. In another Mustang. Terrell leading him around in that Beamer. Kevin Hayes in the second spot. Still got Dan Griffin with some pressure, though. Nico Veloso right behind him. Into that final bus stop chicane area. And see what happened to Mr. Sides. The replay of Nate. Just get pinched, a little bump, but nothing really just kind of happened there. Let's go back again and try it again. We'll see what happens here from the chase view. 3 wide here. Never a good sign. Nobody backing up. Not sure if that was net code to get him spun around or not, but tough break for him. And then let's see if we can go back to Sergey. See if we can see what happened to him. And then the first chicane here. Side by side. It just got a little loose there and spun around. Go back up front here. Yeah, Nick Terrell still out in front. Kevin Hayes in second. Dan Griffin third in the Pro Division. Andreas Saba back here in the fifth spot. Some pressure from Tim Schaefer.
Tim, your leader in the AM class right now. Schaefer now with a 3-second gap back to Tom Leeson. Zachary Holden in the third spot in amateur. He's got a little pressure from Wesley Woods right behind him. Battle for third and fourth in the AM class. The Mercedes of Woods. The Mustang of Mr. Holden. Wesley Woods takes over that third spot. Ooh, gets a little loose coming into Porsche curves. This is super tricky. It is probably one of the hardest sections on this track. Being able to carry so much speed through here. But you got to run so light on wing to get the speed on those long back straightaways. Another close battle back here. Grayson Parks in the Ferrari. Hayden in the Mustang taking over the 5th spot in the amateur class. We missed some more crashes here. Time to get caught up here. We got Nate Sides again. Let's see what Mr. Sides working through the field here. Oh, getting hung up with some AM guys. Trying to put his nose where it should not have been in. Man, it's going to put him even farther back now. Patrick Cantrell with an issue as well. Let's see what happened, Patrick. We're getting up on the curbs. Oh, tough into the wall. Gets up on the curbing there, spins it around. Probably the worst spot to collect damage. Now you got to make your way all the way around the track. And Jared Dino, let's see what happened. Jared Pettit into turn 1 here. Yep, got on the curbing. Oh, tough, hard hit for Jared there. And Mr. Hayes had a problem. Let's see what happened to him. That is a very odd situation there. Let's see, back it up a little bit. Oh, got sideways coming into Porsches. Yep, that is the toughest part on the track. All right, back up here. Let's see where we're at. Nick Terrell out in front still. Ho-Ham race for him. Spaceballs, the Beamer, the official sponsor. Can't wait till that movie comes out. Come back here with Nate. Trying to work his way back through. Getting past Sergey. Sergey losing the nose of his McLaren. Everybody's starting to get pretty spread out right now. lap history here with Nick, Dan, and Nico. You can see Nick with a 3:56 last time by. Coming out of the chicanes here. See what their third lap is. Nick with another 3:56. Dan about a half second quicker that time. Closing that gap just a tiny bit. Can you see the gap there? Andreas Saba in the 4 spot. Starting to close in on Nicholas Menard. Let's take a look here at something. On here trying to get Nick added to the timing here. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right, so we got Nicola Veloso in the 3rd spot officially in the pro class. Patrick came off the track. Let's see what happened back here. Spinner here. Patrick had not having the best of time tonight. Looks like everybody getting really spread out right now. Closest battle we have is for our top 2. Terrell and Griffin. Nick Terrell jumping out in the lead in that very start, going 3 wide down the front straightaway. Nate Sides kind of getting the short end of that start. Nate still trying to work his way back up through the field, sitting 10th spot right now. Still long race. Still got an hour and 15 minutes left to go. Sector times here look like. Griffin's starting to close in a little bit here. 1.4 seconds right now. The last 2 laps, Dan able to close in just over a half second. And just as I say that, Nick opens up the gap a little bit more. I'll give you guys a running order right in here. We got Nick Terrell out in front. Dan Griffin in the 2nd spot. Then about 4.5 seconds back, got Nick Veloso in the third spot. Fourth spot, about 5 seconds behind him, Nicholas Menard in another Mustang. Andreas Saba in the fifth spot. Coming under a little pressure from Tim Schaefer. That is our amateur leader right now. So no battle for official points, but in the overall standings, Schaefer doing a good job. He's up 2 spots right now. And then in the 7th spot overall, second in the amateur class, Tom Leeson in our first Merc. Then you got Casey Jones in the 8th spot overall, 6th in the pro division. Nate Sides, after that rough start, working his way back up. Nate in the 9th spot right now after being spinning out in turn 2. Falling all the way back to the back of the pack. In the 10th spot, you got Wesley Woods, 3rd overall in that amateur class. Vozolo, I apologize. Nico Vozolo. Hope that is right. Next in line here, Zachary Holden, 4th in the amateur class. Zachary Holden down the 11th spot overall. Hayden Menenga in that 5th spot in the amateur class. Quite a few Mustangs out here tonight. Sergey Porka sitting in the 8th spot in the pro division. Has a little aero damage to the front of his McLaren. Trying to reduce some weight there, I guess. Grayson Park, 6th spot overall in the amateur class. Grayson in the sole Ferrari out here. Oh, no, there's another one. Grayson in the 14th spot overall. Patrick Cantrell in 15th. Patrick having a couple of rough spins around. Knocking him all the way back. Oh, we have an accident from your leader. Let's go and see what happened here. Terrell spinning out in the Porsche curves. Let's go back to this. Little late coming into that section there. Get sideways through there. Come back to it again. Let's do this view. See, a little late. He's way outside here. And just chases it around there. Spins all the way around. So Nick Terrell in the pits now, trying to get it all fixed. So now we got Dan Griffin back out in front, all by himself. He's got a 4.5 second advantage. So 4.5 seconds on Nick Vozolo. Terrell trying to get an early pit stop here. Trying to get it repaired and back out on track. Puts him 10th in the pro division. There's his next closest car, Kevin Hayes. Pretty much everybody's spread out right now. Okay, everybody's separated by amateurs or pros. Sergey tucked in by Hayden here, trying to eliminate that arrow damage he's got. Trying to use his friend to keep his speed up. Other fun we can find here. We'll do our obligatory visit to Dan out here in front. Just over 5-second gap right now. Back to Nico in the second spot. Nicholas back here in third. And those guys all separate about 4 or 5 seconds. And you got about 8 seconds back to Andrea Saba in the 4th spot in Pro Division. Tim Schaefer leading the AMs. Had a great start, and he's made some good moves up 4 positions right now. Big hard charger right now is Casey Jones. Casey up 8 spots right now. Casey doing a great job, sitting in 6th in the Pro Division. Let's see what everybody's fast time is so far. Nate Sides with the fastest time overall, 3:55.6. Nate's still trying to work his way back through. Nate in the 5th spot overall in the Pro Division. Nate was lucky in the beginning. It didn't really take any damage. He just kind of spun out and damaged his heart there. That's about it. About 25 minutes down. Just over 1 hour still left to go for these guys. Hour and a half long enduro for these boys. A lot of these guys getting ready for possibly running that 24-hour race here in a couple weeks. So it gives them a little bit of a opportunity to test out some tunes, try some different things, work on their lines. Tom Leeson in that 2nd spot in the amateur class. Our front running Mercedes right now. Check back here with Nick, sitting in that 10th spot. Got some work to do here. Like his wings said, he's going to need some ludicrous speed to get caught back up to these guys. Dan opening that gap to 7 seconds now on Nico. Looks like we may have a tangle here with Patrick and Grayson. Let's see what happened here. Cantrell leading them here. Grayson in this right behind him into the first chicane here. Grayson trying to get back by. Couldn't quite do it. Let's see what happens here. We'll let this one keep running here. Looks like Grayson does crash here somewhere. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here. Coming down here at the end. Oh, both of them off the track. Ooh, and then Grayson spins out trying to get back by Patrick. Oh, he backs it right into the parking spot there. Hey, that was a pretty good move. Let's go back and check that out. And look at that. That is pro skills right there, my friend. Wesley Woods also having an issue. Let's see what happened here. Porsche curves again. Ooh, little light there. Ooh, and tough into the wall there. Let's see what we got here. Pass for 7th spot. Casey Jones and Tom Leeson. Tom just getting off track there. Casey going around. Casey still running that pro division and Tom running in the AMs. Menard starting to close in a little bit on Nico. Let's see what this looks like here. Last couple laps, he's cut off the 3 seconds on Nico. Let's do that. 30 minutes down. We got 1 hour still left to go. These guys are going to need pit stops here. Be honest, not sure what the fuel levels are for these guys. So we'll all learn together. Nate Sides closing in on Andrea Sava. Nate has been moving, trying to work his back up. Here he comes through that draft. And Nate gets by up into the 4th spot now overall. Oh, Nicholas Menard off the track. Let's see what happened to Menard in the Mustang. Ooh, is it the old dreaded Porsche curves? It sure is. Oh, no, this is the last section. This is Corvettes. That is the end of the Porsche curves. That is a brutal section too, as the radiuses get tighter and tighter as you come through. So now Nate Sides only a second and a half behind Menard. In between them, you got your amateur leader of Tim Schaefer. Let's see our fastest laps here. A lot of 55.4s there. Weather, the track temp up to 80 degrees already, and it's just 10:30 in the morning sim time. Cars will start getting a little squirrely as the track temp comes up. Those long back straightaways. Nate able to get by Tim Schaefer. Has his sights set on Menard. Andrea Saba not too far back in that 5th spot in the Pro Division. This is your battle for 3rd of the Pro Division. Nicholas Menard in 3rd of the Mustang. Nate Sides in the 4th spot in that Corvette. Tim Schaefer in the Porsche in your amateur class, your amateur leader right now. And Andrea Saba in the 5th spot. Back up to our leader again. That obligatory check on the leader, make sure he's doing good. Ooh, little offline there. Commentator's curse in full effect. Getting offline out of the bus stop there. Let's see what happened here. We can kind of go back and watch that. So you can see he come through here a little early in that one. Let's go back to that. Kind of see how he came through the chicanes to see where he was at there. So you see he's nice and clean through here. Good and clean through here. And he's just coming here. He's a little on the late side. Should have been about halfway through the car. And then as you see it right here, he's a little late coming into that section. And that pushes him out wide into the dirt. It gets a little slow for him. Still able to hang on to that lead. Nico still in the 2nd spot. Couple guys in the pits. Tom Leeson in the pits. Did not mean to do that. Wesley Woods in the pits right now. Getting a little much needed repair there on Wesley's car. Might see our leader start coming in here soon. At least with a good quick stop. See Nico back there in that second spot. There's Nico coming around. Still about 6 seconds back. Nicholas Menard still hanging on that third spot. Nate Sides coming in. It's about a second and a half back now. On board with Nate Sides. Getting a little grass thrown at him by Nicholas. Sides closing in with a 1 second now, so he's going to be in that draft range. As you can see, the gap out there on the leaderboard starting to come down just a bit. That ever tricky Porsche curves here. Nate hoping to put a little bit of pressure on Nicholas, force him into a mistake. Nate really closing in here. They come out of the Corvette, turns. And into that final couple chicanes here. Good exit on that second chicane. Able to pick up 3/10. Nate with a 354.7 to Menard's 355.3. So definitely closing that gap on that last lap. Less than a half a second now. Battle for the third spot overall and in Pro Division. Here comes Sides in that draft range now. Looking for a slingshot into the first chicane. Pulls out real quick. Gets a little side draft and pulls away. Another car in the pits. You got Grayson Parks in this pits. So you got Sides up into the third spot now after that lap 1 incident he had. Sides coming under pressure from Nicholas. Nicholas inching his way a little closer, but a little too late here. Tries to get a good exit here, see if he can keep that momentum going. Menard trying to inch his way closer, 2/10. Just not quite close enough. Coming up into that ever treacherous Porsche curves now. Menard inching his way closer and closer. Nate Side still hanging to that third spot. Dan Griffin by the stripe with a 355.2. Nico with a 355.7. Here comes your third and fourth place cars. Nate crosses the stripe. 354.5. Menard with a 355.9. Let's go back and see what happened at the beginning here. With Nate Sides, let's see what happened at the beginning here for him. Coming into that second section here. Gets a little turn in. Yeah, I'm wondering if that was a little bit of net code there. Let's try this. Bumps into a little bit. It just upset the car just enough to get him spun around. Everybody avoids him, though. No damage to his car, so had to start scratch to the field. But Nate has definitely worked his way back up through the field and sitting third right now overall. It's our closest battle right now. Third and fourth overall. Sides and Menard still going at it. Just past the halfway point. 45 minutes down. 45 minutes still left to go. Menard looking for a place to get by. I think he's biding his time here. Might be saving some fuel there. Wesley Woods, 5th place in the AM class in the pits right now. Sides and Menard still going at it for third. Wesley Woods still in the pits. Making an extended pit stop here. Wesley just kind of sitting here. It looks like everything is done, but may have stepped away. You're across the line with a 356.6. Nico comes by the stripe. 356.1. Menard gets by because Nate Side's in for a pit stop. So just past the halfway point, Nate decides to come in for a stop. Is he gonna full set of fuel? It probably should go with tires too. See what he does here. Also joining him in the pits is Andrea Saba. All the way down here at the end of pit lane. Yep, goes up on the jacks, gets the tires out. And we'll get us rejoined here. So Menard back up into that third spot all by himself. There's our list of guys that have stopped and haven't stopped yet. So Kevin Hayes, the front runner in the already stopped group. Grayson parking with a crash. Let's see what happened to Grayson here. Just steps it out a little bit. Pushed it a little too late there. Little love tap there. Shouldn't be too much damage for him. Curious to see if Dan jumps in the pits here this time by. Tom Leeson in and out of the pits. Griffin out in front. Got about an 8.5 second gap. It's Nico Vazzolo. Nico just exiting. You can see Dan just up ahead there. Nicholas Menard still hanging on to third. They got a little bit of a gap back to Casey Jones in the fourth spot in the Pro Division. Kevin Hayes in the fifth spot overall in Pro. So coming up on Dan here to see if he's going to slide into the pits here. And Dan will jump into the pits here. Lap 13, that's about right what we expect for a full fuel tank. Nico in a stop as well. Here's your third place car, and Nicholas. Your amateur leader, Tim Schaefer, coming around. And Tim jumping in for a stop as well. Casey Jones, your fourth place car in Pro Division, jumping into the pits. See where Kevin's at. Dan should be just about done here. Nico finishing up that big old fuel tank. Here comes Kevin Hayes by. Take over the second spot. Let's see what their pit time was. So Hayes with a 16-second pit stop. So that is not a full tank of fuel. So we'll have to see how that works out for Kevin later on. So you can see he pit on lap 2, and I think he had some damage. Nick Terrell up into the 6th spot now, trying to work his way up after that early incident. Terrell out in front. Lost it in the Porsche curves. Had about a 5-second gap at that time. Just pushed a little too hard through there. Nate sides back into that 5th spot. Nick Terrell right behind Nate now. What's that pit time for him? 34 seconds. Nick with a 21-second. So it looks like everybody pit. Is that what I saw? Pit stops. Everybody stop. Okay. So let's run through our running order right now. You got Dan Griffin out in front overall, leading that pro division. In the 2nd spot right now, you got Kevin Hayes. Kevin with a real short pit stop last time. We'll have to see if he's able to milk it around, but I doubt he's going to be able to make it the rest of the way. In 3rd right now, you got Nico Vazzolo. Nicholas Menard in the 4th spot. Nate Sides, another one that had some early issues, in the 5th spot. Nick Terrell spinning while he was out in front, working his way back through the field in the 6th spot right now. In the 7th spot in the pro division, you've got Casey Jones. Sergey Porco in the 8th spot, getting that damage repaired, getting it back up to full speed. Then you got Patrick Cantrell in the 9th spot in Pro Division. Andreas Saba in 10th in the Pro Division. And then in your amateur class, Tim Schaefer leading him around. He's been out in front since the beginning. He's got about a 36-second gap back to Zachary Holden. Hayden Magenda in the 3rd spot in the amateur class. And then you got Tom Leeson in 4th. Grayson Parks in 5th in the amateur class. Jared Pettit in 6th. Wesley Woods in the 7th spot. And that is it for the runners right now. Looks like we had an incident with Casey Jones. Let's see what happened here. Again, Porsche curves. Chasing it around. Ooh, able to hang on. Nope. Get into that outside wall. Again, these cars are trimmed down so low on the wing. When they come into these high-speed turns like this, it is death-defying at times, for sure. Closing in on that 1 hour mark. Oh, Zachary Holden having some problems. Let's see what's going on here. Oh. That was an interesting spot. Let's see that again here. And then another one here coming into the pits. It looks like he may have had another incident. Yep. Getting offline there. So a tough break for Zach. Back up front. Our obligatory leader shot. Dan Griffin out in front in the Mustang. Just touching that 1 hour mark. 30 minutes still left to go. Here's your leader through across the stripe one more time. Hayes in for a stop. Remember we mentioned earlier you short pit that last one. Here comes Nico by to take over that second spot. Nate Sides coming out of the chicane down the straightaway to take over third now. Menard up into fourth. Nick Turrell up into fifth now. Nicholas Menard went off the track. I just noticed that Nate Sides getting ahead of him. Let's see what happened back here. Ooh, coming into that second chicane. Gets a whole lot of chicane there. Let's see that again here. Just too much of that first chicane, the curbing there. Nate going by and taking over the spot. Tim Schaefer, your leader in the AM class, on a nice casual Tuesday night drive. think this is Marcus's favorite view here at one time. The mandatory blimp view. Schaefer, though, with a 48-second advantage right now on that second place car of Hayden. Hayden just getting to the first chicane here, looks like. While Schaefer just coming off the straightaways here. It's almost a full straightaway advantage right now for Tim Schaefer. Tim with a great start. Set the pace in qualifying and has been leading that AM class since the green flag. On board with Tim here. Where is it? There it is. Coming up into those infamous Porsche curves in the Porsche. What could go wrong with having the engine hanging completely out behind the rear wheels? But Tim's been able to navigate it very well. Little lift here, nice tap on the brakes, downshift. Doesn't want to carry too much speed here. As you see, gets a little offline there. Make sure you stay tight in here. Get enough curb there so you don't go off track there. Tim looking around at something and not paying full attention there. We have all done that before. Has a slowdown right now, so I want to get that taken care of here, and he does. Into the chicanes here, the one final time. A little late again. Gets a little hairy there. And back across the line for Tim, leading him around. Nick Terrellbin's inching his way a little closer to Nicholas Menard. You can see in the first chicane here. Terrell about a second and a half back. This is our closest battle right now. Hard under brakes into that second chicane here. Menard trying to inch his way here through the sectors. Terrell had a quicker sector 1, but the last 3 sectors, Nicholas has been a pull away. Let's see what this next sector comes up to be. Nick a little quicker. See if he's able to reel him in here. He's got just over 20 minutes left. About 22 minutes left for these guys. We got Dan Griffin out in front, stretching that lead out to 17 seconds now on Nico Veloso. Vozolo, sorry. Nate Sides working his way back up in that third spot. Menard still hanging on to fourth. Nick Terrell trying to reel him in. Looks like we got an issue with Zachary Holden. Let's see what happened to Zachary here. Into the first chicane here. Just gets a little too much curb there. Oh, it's such a hard hit for such a little minor thing. Quite a bit of damage to the front end there. Terrell's been the quickest one the last few laps here between these guys. Pretty slow burner of a race right now. Again, this is going to be our closest battle right now. Out the back of Nicholas Menard in the fourth spot. First chicane and down the straight. Trying to keep that Beamer at bay. "20 minutes left. We've got it 1 hour, 10 minutes down, 20 minutes still left to go for these guys. Griffin's been out in front since our guy Nick Terrell did a little dance by himself. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah, let's go back. Let's revisit that just for Nick here. Coming to the Porsche curves, a little hot, chasing it around. Let's go to this view. You can see the weight transfer there big time right there on that left side. And a whole lot of transfer came to the right, and it just kind of chased it around. Knocked him back quite a bit, but he's been able to work his way back up into the fifth spot. He's now 2 seconds back behind Nicholas Menard. So you still got Dan checking in on Dan, make sure he's good here. Looks like he is good and cruising. See him across through the chicane here one more time. So we got 18 minutes left on the clock. Griffin comes by with a 3:56.2. Kind of has it in cruise mode right now. Has been able to maintain a 17-second gap to Nico. see what Nico comes by the stripe at. 357 flat. Nate Sides comes by 355.7. Still dropping some lap times. Terrell into the pits. Did not have enough fuel. That's going to drop him back in the field again. Let's see how long his stop is here. Just getting the fuel. 16 seconds on the fuel. That's going to drop him all the way back to the 6th spot. Here comes Sergey by. It's going to tuck in right behind Nick. This will be our closest battle right now. Sergey within draft right now. Let's see if he can reel him in. Sergey checks up a little bit. Closes in pretty tight and then just checks up. Let's see if he whoa, makes a wiggle out of there. That was a tight little wiggle there. Let's see if I can pull that back up for him. Chase here, watch here. Looks like he had a little wiggle coming out. Ooh, good save from there. That could have been very devastating. Terrell with a slowdown right now. He's able to burn it off. Sergey closing in at the end of the straight here. Ludicrous speed to pass. Ooh, that was tight. Nick hard under braking too. You can see the tail of that car wiggling just a bit. Coming on 14 minutes still left to go. Again, it's our closest battle right now. Battle for 6th and 7th in the Pro Division. Sergey on the inside of the banking. Ooh, side by side. Terrell's still hanging on that position. Ooh, a little high-low. Inside-out move. This could get tricky right here. A little draft action coming into the Porsche curves. This is where there's been a lot of mistakes, a lot of issues. Nick is one of them that had an issue there earlier. Let's see how they come in here. A little pressure on them. Ooh, Nick pushes out a little wide there. Sergey still tucked in behind that rear bumper. Nick Terrell still able to hang on to that 6th spot. Sergey looking around the outside. Is he going to get to the inside here in this section? Porco out on the outside and able to make that move. Done and dusted. Get back up into that 6th spot now in the Pro Division. Got 12 minutes left for these guys, so about 4 more laps for these guys. Terrell with a good draft. Coming around the outside, coming into the chicane number 1. Sergey hitting the wipers. Terrell gets around the outside, takes over that 6th spot again. Looks like Wesley Wood's having a problem. Let's see what happened to him. Just missed the chicane. Just completely missed it. But able to luckily get through there and keep going. Back to our battle for 6th and 7th overall. Terrell still hanging on to that 6th spot. Sergey Porco in the 7th spot. So there's our closest battle on the track right now. Everybody else by at least 3 seconds, it looks like. These two separated by about a half a second right now, as we're closing on 10 minutes still left to go. Nick Terrell in the Spaceballs Beamer in the 6th spot. That black and orange McLaren of Sergey in 7th. Nick a little better through the Porsche curves there, able to open up a bit of a gap now. Sergey really closing in on that second part of the track. Sergey with a slow down, trying to burn it off so he doesn't lose too much time here. Definitely doesn't want to lose touch of Nick by the time they get on the straightaway. You really want to get it burned off by now. There, he gets it burned off here. Inside Sergey's car. About 4/10 of a second back. Inching closer. Gonna run out of time before this first chicane here. See if we can get a good drive out. Both of them with a slow down there. Both of them getting it on exit. It's a battle of seeing who can burn it off. Both of them still trying to get to that slow down. Sergey able to get it cleared. Nick able to get it cleared, but here comes Sergey around the outside. Nick having to lift a little too long off that exit. Sergey around the outside at the end of the straightaway. Nick's going to get hard into braking. Ooh, slows it down hard. Nick able to hang on to that spot. Tucked in the bumper here. Just trying to keep some pressure on Nick. So we should get about one more lap after this. Maybe two. Don't want to drop from these guys in the Porsche. You never know what's going to happen here. That McLaren seems pretty stuck, pretty good. Oh, your amateur leader off the track. Tim Schaefer off the track. So he's able to tuck back in with these guys. Has a 48-second advantage right now, Tim does. But we'll check in on that crash here in a second. Just want to see where we end up here. So we should get by for one more lap for these guys. Let's see what happened to Tim here. Looks like it's the Corvettes or Porsches. Must have had a failure, equipment failure. Able to get off the track, thankfully. No damage done, so no real accident from him. Just a hardware failure, possibly. Back up front. Dan Griffin out in front, 14-second advantage now on Nico. Dan coming up on some lap traffic here. Should be the white flag this time by. Nico still hanging on to that second spot. Nate Sides trying to inch his way closer. Might be a little too late for him. Let's see what the laps difference there. Nate really inching his way closer and closer. 2 seconds quicker, 1.2 seconds quicker, 3/4 of a second, 3/4 of a second. So he's been really on the move. But again, might be a little too late. He is pushing that thing right now. 1.9 seconds of your second and third place car. We'll go back to our other battle right now for 6th and 7th. Nick and Sergey still going at it. Let's see where Dan is coming out here. Let's check and see if he gets the white flag this time by. Should be white flag for him. Haven't seen Nicholas for a little bit here. Running the 4th spot. Kind of in no man's land right now. He's got 11 seconds up to Nate Sides in the 3rd spot. And then 38 seconds back to Kevin Hayes in 5th. So kind of in no man's land right now for Nicholas. But Nate Sides on the move, trying to push 1.3 seconds back to Nico. Gotta go jumping back and forth between these two battles here. Sergey and Nick going at it still. Oh, Nick getting a slowdown. That's going to be tough to burn off here. Sergey all over that back bumper, making a pass in the chicane. And he's able to do it. Sergey taking over the 6th spot now. Gutsy move for him, knowing that Nick had to do a slowdown. And then back up to Nate Sides here, closing in on Nico. 1 second separating them now, so Nate within draft distance here. He's going to start closing that gap now with a little bit of draft here down the straightaway. Oh, Sergey off the track. Let's go see what happened here. Ooh, drifts it out into the grass. That's going to give the spot back to Nick Terrell. So Nick back up into the 6th spot. Sergey dropping back to 7th. But here comes Nate Sides closing in on Nico. Battle for that 2nd spot. This should be the last lap right here. Jump back up to Dan real quick, see where he's at, how he's doing, coming into the Porsche curves here. One final time for him. But Nate Sides really closing that gap. Putting the pressure on Nico now. Makes a move on the inside. And Nate able to stick it. But here comes Nico back in. Oh, Indianapolis. Side by side with the Porsche or the Corvettes. Sides able to take advantage of it. Gets a little wiggle there. Nico still tucked in behind him. Nico likes to poke around the outside, just looking to see where they're at on the track. Here they come into the Porsche curves. Nate Sides hanging around that 2nd spot. And let's go up to the front here to see how our boy Dan is doing. Checkered flag's going to come out for Dan Griffin. Here he comes across the stripe one final time. Dan Griffin taking the checker flag and taking the win in this 1.5 hour enduro here at OMEC. Nate Sides working his way back all the way up into the 2nd spot. After another spin. Nico finishing in 3rd overall. Nicholas Menard finishing in the 4th spot. And you're going to have Kevin Hayes going to make his way around to the 5th spot. Still making his way around the last section here. Kevin Hayes with the obligatory flashes of lights.
What's up, Mr. Braun?
Mr. Nate Sides, we are live on YouTube. Do you know this?
No, I did not.
Well, we are. Guess what? We're live on
Fantastic.
YouTube.
Awesome.
Good job, man. We'll finish up here real quick as we're watching Nick finish this up with a great battle with Serge. And Nick able to hang on to that 6th spot. But taking the win in the amateur class, Tim Schaefer coming through, dominating that amateur class today. But since you're in here, Nate, what the heck happened at the start, man?
The first wreck or the second?
Well, we'll go to the first one first.
The first one, I think it was just a kind of a racing incident type thing. Everybody tried to be in the same spot at the same time. The second one, I was coming through that real quick left-hander, and the pack was going much lower than I was expecting, and I hit the brakes, and it just turned me.
Yeah, that was a tough one. It almost looked like a net code at first, but I think you got into the back fender at Dan just a bit, and it just kind of spun you out.
Yeah, I was not expecting the green to go where it went, so I was not even remotely prepared for that start.
And then Nick, of course, just putting himself out in the wrong spot for you.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's a great drive to bringing her back through, coming up into that 2nd spot, man. That was good to see you run through there.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I got you in here. I know you wanted to come say hi to me and all that good stuff, but anyone to shout out? Do thanks to while you're live to the world?
No, there's not many people that I know that watch this, so.
You don't want to thank me?
And yeah, thank you. I didn't know that you were streaming it tonight, honestly.
Yeah, Fenn had a little work thing. I saw him post about that, so I said, you know what? I'll take it for him. He helped me out on a couple things before, so I wanted to help him out at what I could do.
Awesome.
All right, I'll jump into the other chat here in a minute.
All right.
Thanks.
Yep.
Once again, we will come over our finishing results here. Let's see how we finished up overall. We still got a couple guys finish. Nope, they're here. There. There's one final one coming across. And there is our finish there. All right, now we should be able to see our results here in the amateur class. Yeah, Tim Schaefer taking the win. 53-second gap back to Hayden in that 2nd spot in amateur class. Tom Leeson finishing in 3rd. Zachary Holden in 4th. Grayson Parks rounding out your top 5. And in the pro class, yeah, Dan Griffin taking the win overall. My guy Nate Sides finishing in that 2nd spot, 13 seconds back. Nico Veloso finishing in the 3rd spot, 15 seconds back. And Nicholas Menard finishing in 4th. Kevin Hayes rounding out that top 5 in your pro class. Once again, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. I don't think anybody else is going to jump in here with me. But I would thank everybody for watching tonight. OMEC Racing here on Tuesday nights. Oh, Nicholas Menard joining us in the booth. Nicholas, how are you tonight, sir?
Oh, man, I am so glad that's over. I just wanted to say fantastic drive, Nate. That was a heck of a comeback.
Thank you.
Yeah, he chased you down big time at the end there. But, Nicholas, you had a great race there, but at one point you kind of got in no man's land. There was like 20 seconds ahead and like 30 seconds behind you.
Yeah, you'll have that when you do a couple 360s and just whatever. Luckily, I didn't hit any walls, so I was able to continue. But this last minute air setup was probably the most difficult thing I've tried to drive in quite some time. I don't know how Dan pulled that one off. Yeah, I just kind of held on, and I think I did enough to lock up the championship.
Good. Yeah, I don't have any points for you tonight. I am your random substitute teacher tonight. Finn will have that off for you guys next week, and they'll have it in the Discord. But great run tonight, Nicholas. You want to shout out or thanks to anybody tonight before I shut off the broadcast?
Oh man, just again, thanks to everybody that makes OMEC happen. Just this season was just as good as every other season. They keep getting better. It's such a good league. It's a good fun time. All the drivers, a lot of regulars here. So just shout out to everybody that shows up week in, week out, and everybody that helps make it happen. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a great group. I ran with these guys for many seasons, and but when any chance that I can come to help them out with the broadcast, I'm happy to jump in for them. So, again, great run tonight, Nicholas, and thanks for coming out tonight.
Yep. Thank you for stepping in. Look forward to watching it.
All right, thank you. Once again, guys, that is our OMEC for tonight. Let's see if anybody, I think Tim said he was going to jump in here. Maybe. We'll drag it out for another minute here. No.
Tim's usually in one of the chats. I'm surprised he's not in it.
Yeah,
Just
I
drug
don't
him
see
in.
him. Or I should would have just drug him in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call it a night. It's been an hour and a half by myself, talking to myself this entire time. I will call it a night. So on behalf of my boy Finn, there he is. Of course,
Now he's
just
here.
as I'm wrapping him up. Tim joining us. Tim, what a great run you had, man. In the amateur class, taking the win. You dominated in the AM class tonight. How was your night except for the one little incident?
Are you referring to me stopping in the middle of the track?
Yeah, that one.
Yep. This has happened to me before. My screen completely froze, and I was like, "Oh God!" I thought I turned right enough to be like, off the track where I was. I guess I wasn't, but I worked out. As soon as I saw that they were coming, I dove out of the way. So it worked out, but I'm gonna have to sort that one out. But apart from that, the season was awesome. I told Tom at the beginning of the season at VIR that I was coming for the title. I did not think it was gonna be this easy. Maybe the Porsche was just that good. Who knows? But I can probably safely assume I'm gonna get bumped up to pro. So I got some new challenges ahead of me. So it'll be fun. But
Yeah,
I'm
no,
very
that's
excited to get my trophy.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, they give out some cool trophies with you guys, so congratulations on the AM Championship. Being somebody that's running this league multiple times, we had a lot of fun with these guys, and it's a great group of guys to get acquainted with and get running with. So congratulations, Tim. And anybody want to say thanks to or give a shout out before we shut it down?
I guess the whole league. I mean, I said this before, but whether I consciously or subconsciously kind of picked up from all the faster guys. I think I've been in the league since 20-something, 23 maybe? 24. And so 2 years of just kind of picking up pace, learning through everybody. And it's just everybody's very nice and kind and willing to help. And so it's just, it's a good group, which makes the racing easier to do. So.
Awesome,
That's
Tim.
pretty much
Well,
it.
congratulations on your championship. Congrats on a great drive tonight as well, and look forward to seeing you next week.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And that will finally conclude our night of OMEC. For Nate Sides joining me here in the booth, I am Mike Braun. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.